Hey kids, do you believe in magic? I do. How about you? Well, here's a story about a little girl who did. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and woods that whispered secrets to the wind, lived a curious little girl named Eliza. She was just 6 years old, but her imagination was bigger than the sky. Her blonde pigtails bounced with every skip and jump, and her blue eyes sparkled with endless questions. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the clouds in hues of orange and purple, Eliza sat beside her window. The wind was singing a gentle tune through the trees, and the distant hoot of an owl echoed in the twilight. Eliza, Grandma, Grandma, is it true there's a tree in the forest that can whisper? Her grandmother, who was knitting a cozy sweater by the fire, smiled at her granddaughter's enthusiasm. Her wrinkled face, a map of her many years, crinkled into a kind smile. Grandma? Oh, Eliza, that's just an old tale. The whispering tree only speaks when the moon is full and the wind is just right. Eliza. But what does it say? Her eyes wide with wonder, her grandma continued, her voice soft as the falling snow. Grandma, some say it grants wishes, but only to those with a kind heart, Eliza gasped. A tree that granted wishes? It sounded like something from her storybooks, magical and enchanting. Eliza, can you take me to see it, Grandma? Please? Her grandmother looked at her, her eyes twinkling. Grandma, perhaps another time, my love. You know the forest can be a dangerous place, especially at night. But that didn't stop Eliza. That night, she couldn't sleep. The full moon was rising, and her little heart was full of wonder. As the soft glow of the moonlight streamed through her window, she heard the wind rustling outside, whispering tales of magic and mystery. She got out of bed, put on her red woolen coat, grabbed her woolen hat, and tiptoed to her window. Looking out, she saw the moon shining brightly in the starlit sky. Eliza, tonight is the night. And with that, she opened her window and slipped out into the cool night air. Deep in the heart of the woods, under the silvery glow of the moon, little Eliza walked. The path was dark and shadowy, but she wasn't scared. She whispered to herself, I'll find the whispering tree. I'll be kind. Maybe, just maybe, it will grant me a wish. The trees stood tall and proud all around her, their branches reaching up to the moonlit sky like eager arms. As she walked, she could hear the soft murmur of the wind through the leaves, and the hoot of an owl echoed through the stillness. Then suddenly she heard a voice, soft and wispy, like the rustling of leaves. Eliza! Eliza jumped. Who was there? Was it the tree? Who's there? Her voice trembled slightly in the darkness. The voice came again, closer this time. Voice, only those who listen ... can truly hear. Intrigued, Eliza pressed on. She had to find the source of the voice. As she ventured deeper into the woods, the trees seemed to grow thicker and the shadows deeper. Just when she thought the path couldn't get any darker, the trees began to close in around her, forming a tunnel of sorts with their gnarled branches overhead. Then, as quickly as it had begun, the tunnel ended and she found herself in a small clearing bathed in the soft glow of the moon. In the center of the clearing stood a giant silver tree. Its branches shimmered like spun sugar, and its leaves glowed faintly under the moon. And it was then that Eliza realized this was no ordinary tree. This was the whispering tree. Eliza, it's real. The whispering tree. The tree rustled softly, and a deep, warm voice echoed through the clearing. Tree, child of wonder, why have you come? Eliza, taken aback by the tree's sudden response, stammered, her voice echoing in the stillness of the forest. Eliza, I wanted to see if you were real, and maybe ask a wish. The tree rustled again, and the voice echoed once more. this time tinged with amusement. Tree. So you've come for a wish, child. Be careful, little one. Wishes come with choices. What is it that your heart seeks? Eliza closed her eyes, thinking hard. She didn't want to waste her wish on something silly. Then she thought of her mom, who always seemed tired and worried. Eliza, my mom is tired all the time. She works so hard in the fields. I just want her to smile more. The tree was silent for a moment, and Eliza felt a pang of doubt. Had she wished for the wrong thing? Would the tree even grant her wish? The tree finally spoke, its voice low and thoughtful. Tree, a selfless wish. That is rare. For a moment, there was silence, broken only by the soft chirping of crickets. Then the ground beneath Eliza's feet began to shimmer, and the clearing she had entered through vanished, replaced by a new scene. Eliza found herself standing in a clearing bathed in the soft glow of dawn. The tall trees that had surrounded the whispering tree were gone, replaced by a lush meadow filled with colorful wildflowers. In the distance, she could hear the gentle bleating of sheep and the soft mooing of cows. Suddenly, 3 animals appeared before her. A playful fox with a bushy tail, a graceful deer with kind eyes, and a wise old owl with feathers that seemed to shimmer in the morning light. They stood silently for a moment, and then the fox, with a mischievous grin, spoke in a voice as bright as the morning sun. Fox, little girl, I've lost my tail ribbon. Will you help me find it? Eliza, still a bit dazed by the sudden change of scenery and the talking animals, managed a smile. Eliza, of course. Let me look behind that bush. As she moved the bush aside, she saw a small, beautifully woven ribbon. Eliza, here you go, Mr. Fox. The fox, his tail now adorned with the beautiful ribbon, nodded his thanks and disappeared into the bushes. The deer, who had watched silently until now, stepped forward. His eyes were downcast and his ears drooped slightly. Dear, my legs are tired. May I lean on you? Eliza, her heart filled with sympathy, didn't hesitate. Eliza, of course, Mr. Deer. Lean on me, I'm strong enough. Gently, Eliza supported the deer, who nuzzled his head against her shoulder. As he did, a wave of calmness seemed to wash over her, soothing the racing thoughts in her head. The wise old owl perched on a nearby branch hooted softly, his gaze fixed on Eliza. Owl, if you could only help one of us, who would it be? His question hung in the air, and Eliza frowned. She wanted to help all of them, but how? The fox and the deer exchanged glances, and the deer spoke again, his voice filled with gratitude. Dear, the little girl has shown kindness to us all. It is her choice that should be honored. With that, the animals vanished into the soft morning light. As she turned to leave, the whispering tree reappeared in front of her, its branches laden with morning dew. Tree, you have passed the test. A kind heart helps without choosing. Your wish shall be granted. Tears welled up in Eliza's eyes. Eliza, really? Will my mom smile again? The tree rustled softly, and the voice echoed through the clearing. Tree, go home, little one, and you shall see. Back in her room, Eliza woke up in her bed. Had it all been a dream? She looked around, half expecting to see the whispering tree in her room. But it was just her old oak tree outside her window. Disappointed, she got out of bed. But then she heard a familiar sound, the gentle creaking of her door. Mom, good morning, sunshine, pancakes are ready. Eliza rushed to the door and opened it. Her mom stood in the doorway, her face beaming with a smile. Eliza, Mom, you're smiling. Her mom's smile widened. Mom, I feel so light today. Like the world is brighter. Eliza, her eyes shining with happiness, whispered to herself, Eliza, thank you, whispering tree. The end.